it's Melissa. In this video, I'm going to show you finally the hack that you are all asking me about, which is how to use a sublimation printer to do direct to film. Now, this is not true direct to film. For one thing, it uses sublimation ink. For another thing, you still are not going to be able to press onto dark fabrics, which is obviously an issue with sublimation. Direct to film, true direct to film, you have a white channel of ink that lays down white ink, which then puts basically a backing on your design and allows you to put it on darks and cottons and all other kinds of fabrics and garments. However, with this hack, at least you're getting around the fact that you can put your sublimation prints onto cotton shirts, okay? So one thing I really want you to be aware of, and why I really don't recommend this, while I understand why people are doing this, because sublimation is much less expensive than getting into a full DTF setup, which I also have. I'll link to that video so you can see the differences there. However, if you are doing this hack, it probably means that you don't have the equipment that you really need for direct to film. Okay, so one thing that you need direct to film is the printer. Then you also need a curing oven, and you really need a filter, like a filtration system, because when you're curing DTF powder, you see this little warning here? Says wear a mask. This stuff gets into the air and it's an irritant. You really need to make sure that you have good filtration. Or please be outside, okay? You don't want this stuff in your home. It says on here, must wear a mask. Keep away from children. Don't eat it. If you eat it, talk to a doctor immediately, okay? Keep it in an airtight container, okay? So I'm just warning you. I'm showing you this because you keep asking me. I'm recommending to you that this really is not ideal, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm using the DTF film that I use with my direct-to-film printer, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to put it in the sublimation printer. I'm using the Epson F170 today, okay? I also have a Sawgrass SG1000 here, and it can be done with either one, but I'm going to put it in this one. It's going to print out the ink, and then we're going to put the powder on top, we're going to cure the powder, and then we're going to put it on a white cotton shirt, okay? And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it directly next to, and I'm going to print the same design, the DTF transfer that I made also. And then that way we can compare it and you can see both before and after washing the differences, okay? All right, so let's get started by putting the film directly in the printer and we will go from there. All right, so here is my film. You want to print on the cloudy side, so I am going to place it directly in the drawer. This one needs to go this way so it will print up, okay? I'm just putting one sheet in there. We'll close that up. And then I am going to print this SVG or this PNG from my computer. Now, once the printing is done, you need to work pretty quickly to get the powder on top of the printed design. So this ink, because it's going on this clear DTF film, it is not going to be absorbed into paper like it normally would. It is going to be wet. All right, so you just need to make sure that you do not touch it at all. And you're going to get your powder and sprinkle the powder directly on top, or in this case I have a bin that I have my powder in, and I will use that to put the powder directly on top of these transfers that are printing. So you can see them printing here. Again, they are very transparent at this point because there is no white ink as I would have with a direct to film printer, which would really make those colors pop. The other thing is, because this is sublimation ink, it is dull to begin with, okay? So this side is not wet. This is the back of the film. This is the side with the wet ink on there, and I'm going to very quickly put the powder on there. Okay, so here is my DTF powder. This is exactly the same technique, the exact same powder that I use when I am using my actual true DTF printer, okay? So you want to get powder over the entire print. Now, again, this powder, this becomes basically the adhesive, okay? So it is now on the back of my print, all right? Now I need to cure this. This is the part where you're supposed to be wearing a mask, okay? Okay, so I have my heat press right here by a wide open window, and I am going to place my transfer directly on my heat press and let my heat press hover over top. It's set to right now to about 365. I'm letting it hover there while it cures the powder. So what we're looking for is that powder to no longer be powdery, but like kind of like an orange peel film. Okay, so you can see that the heat press is not completely closed. It is just hovering. This should probably take a minute or so, depending on the temperature of the heat press and how close the top platen is to the bottom. I'll show it to you as soon as it's done curing. All right, so it's been about a minute, so let's take a look. All right, so what we can see here is our powder is pretty much melted. There are a couple of little areas you can see in this one where the powder is not fully melted, so I'm going to put that right back in there just for another 10 or 15 seconds. We just want to make sure that that gets completely melted, and then we are going to flip this onto our shirt. Okay, I'm going to cut it apart, and I'm actually going to do it on the exact same shirt right next to the true DTF so that we can have a really good comparison. Okay, so at this point now you can touch it because this has now become like a rubbery adhesive. Okay, all right, so here is my sheet. They are all cured. I'm going to just separate them, and I'm going to place one directly on the same shirt. Here's my little onesie that I did. This is the DTF Transfer. Okay, almost no hand. So we will place this directly next to it so we can see a comparison. I can already see there's a slight difference in color. This one on the left obviously is the Sublimation DTF, but let's see how it works once we press this. All right, so our heat press is still set to 365 for about a minute. Okay, and this is my DTF transfer that I just did with the Sublimation Printer. Can you see that? Okay, and I'm going to press it directly down for about a minute. All right, so it has been about a minute, so we will open this up, and now what we are going to do is we can peel off that DTF film. There's a lot of ink still left there, okay? It's not the best. You can see the quality there of those two designs, okay? And you can see the colors. Now, this, again, is the true DTF, and this is, and I'm going to show you the image itself that it's supposed to be. So the final test is going to be the wash, okay? But I know that there are people who really just want to be able to do sublimation on cotton, and I want you to know that this is a hack. It is definitely not going to give you the quality, the color control, the ability to do darks as you would with true DTF. However, there's a benefit due to the price, but I do want you to have all of the information up front, okay? If you're interested in DTF, I can see why it is a huge, huge advantage over a lot of other applications such as heat transfer vinyl or sublimation. Okay, so if you guys are interested, check out the true DTF and see, is it right for your business? If you're just printing one or two transfers, it might actually be more beneficial for you, and I would recommend this to just outsource and purchase those transfers as opposed to this hack. But again, I know you guys wanted to know, so here you go. All right, guys, I will see you soon.